Okay, well, thank you all for coming, and thank you for the Community Association. This is a great thing we do every year. It's a great turnout. Thanks so much. I'm one guy. These guys, my commissioners, your commissioners, April's in the back, she came in. I've done a lot of heavy lifting this year for you. Your staff, as Gerard was just saying, building boom. Still cleaning up after Irma. Huge work there. The chief has gone through several changes of new personnel and very challenging. I'll hit a couple things, some challenges we have during the summer. Just fabulous staff. You all should be proud of them. Please see them, thank them. They do great. But so now I've been tasked with telling the state of the city, and I'm going to try to give you kind of that big picture overview. Not going to get into the nuts and bolts like the guys did on numbers, but the things that really affect us the most. Okay, Chris. Okay, back. No, that's it. Okay, was it next one? Okay, that's the next one. Okay, I love this slide. Remember when we didn't have a sewer plant? We didn't have Sunset Park. We didn't have a lot of the neat facilities you have here. We've come a long way. Okay, next. And now, your general budget, once again, as I reported last year, we've done a great job recovering after Irma. We have a very strong budget. We're now working with the FDEM director, Florida Department of Emergency Management, Jared Moskowitz, to get the last piece of the cleanup money, about $1.3 million out of FEMA and the state, and that will go a long way to make sure that any eventuality comes up, we can handle. Representative Holly Rashine and Senator Flores, our state representative, state senator, have been very instrumental in helping us with this. Okay, now, right now at the end of October, this is an unaudited number. I just pulled it off the end of September sheets. We have about $1.9 million in reserves, cash reserves. So we spent about $2.5 million cleaning up after Irma, and we have about $1 million line of credit too. So 1.9 plus $1 million line of credit, we can handle anything this year coming up. And by the way, we already paid off that $500,000 from Irma in 2 years, gone. So we're totally solvent. Great. Okay. Big thing, ROGO. Gerard talked about all the building boom. Well, this is why. We finally, after years, got it through the state that Key Colony Beach is not under a ROGO. They kept trying to put us limits on our growth. And we fought them and fought them and fought them. Finally, they said, build out. So that was a big thing. That could have saved us tens of millions of dollars in what they call takings lawsuits. That's if a city or municipality comes in and takes away your right to develop your property, which is what the state wanted to do. They wanted to shut down all building in the Keys. So now we're good so far. The state still cut off building across the Keys anytime they want. But the county's been pushing hard to push that 2023 deadline to 2026. They've held back on their building permits to spread them out. And they want to go for evacuation times to 30 hours from the old 24. I guess as longer you get off the Keys, that allows more permanent residents to live in the Keys, and that'll help us too. So a lot of hard work this year went into making that happen. Gerard talked about our plan. Has anybody looked in the canal recently? That bottom right picture is off my dock the other day. I've never seen it that clear. Your sewer treatment plant, which was working about 3 milligrams per liter of nitrogen, is now down to about 1.5 milligrams per liter. Cut it no more than half. That really cleans up the canals and your near-shore waters. Very, very proud of everything we've done with that. Your utility board is great. I did want to thank all your volunteers in this city. We have about 40 volunteers that man our boards and committees. They do this heavy lifting. They make all this happen for us. Gerard talked about the beautification committee, talked about the recreation committee. We've got the planning and zoning board. We talked the code board. We've got the utility board. All working hard, and they're our neighbors doing that for free. So I'm going to embarrass some people here. Anybody on boards and committees, please stand. Please. If you're on a board or committee, please stand. Okay? Thank them. Thank them. We talked about the UV system and stormwater. We're trying to finish up the injection wells up and down the streets, so we want to put water into the outfalls that goes in the canal and adds more dirt in the canals. And also, as you notice down here at the end of 7th and 8th Street along Shelter Bay Drive, that big retention pond has been causing us trouble. But we are working very hard with our engineering firm to come up with a good solution to that. That is permitted by South Florida Water Management District. We don't own the rights to do whatever we want with that. They have to approve it. So our engineering firm is working with them to come up with a really good solution to make that retention pond work a lot better. We won't have that mosquito sanctuary, as people call it. Okay. All right, next. Vacation rentals. We are 34% vacation rentals in this city. Now, that's not a bad thing, but it is a challenge for your city. In July, August, and September, your city staff works non-stop with vacation rentals, making sure that you get licensed properly, make sure you get your inspections, and it's a big job. Gerard talked about that. Another bad thing is, another thing we've been working very hard for you all, is to make sure we maintain our ordinances to be able to regulate vacation rentals. We have the model vacation rental ordinances anywhere. I sit on the Florida League of Mayors. I had so many mayors come up to me and say, how do you do it? And I say, well, go on our website, we've got the ordinances. They would love to have our ordinances. The state is trying to take away all our rights to manage vacation rentals and wants to put it under the hotel people up in the state. That'd be horrible. So your state legislators or senators, give them a call, tell them, don't let this happen. Don't let it happen. I'm also going to be talking with the governor's office that if they do pass the bill, try to get them to veto it, because it would just change everything in Key Colony. Okay, next. Okay, here's a 500-pound gorilla in the room, I guess, is City Hall. Once again, we've been working very hard over the last year to get our arms around what we need to do. FEMA has not been the easiest people to work with. The state's not been the easiest people to work with. But basically, here's what I told you last year. I just want to start with, here's where we were last year. I showed you this slide. And we had our offices condemned, 5 feet below base flood elevation at that time. Gerard talked about the new firm maps that are coming out talking about elevations and how high you have to build and how much your insurance rates will go up based on those maps. So we've been working on funding, doing insurance, FEMA, and that's what I showed you last year. Next slide. Showed you this last year. This is kind of an idea we came up with because this is my idea. I want to try to keep Marble Hall and the post office the way they were. And so I went to Tallahassee with this picture and said, please help us with this. And we got a $150,000 grant. Holly Rashine, our state representative, and Anna Terra Flores, our senator again, once again, got us that for architectural and engineering to get us started. And we went to the stilted section, I did, once again my idea, to make sure we ensured we had a good emergency operations center and a refuge of last resort. We had to think about 100 and some people stay for Irma. We didn't have a place for them to go. So I want to make sure we have a safe place here if we do get another big storm. Okay, next. Okay, Corky Spurley gave some good ideas. Good stack of papers about that thick. I carry them with me. And we also looked at that idea. Next. But here's the kind of the trump card. And FEMA finally came through in July and said, no, we don't want you to build ground level again. We don't want that to happen again. Their mitigation department stepped in and said, we want to mitigate this. We don't want this to happen to you again. It's not the 50% ruling like we're dealing with our homes with 50% damage or not. This is kicked above that. Now it's pure mitigation. And then we talked about the new firm maps coming out. That would put this building 7.9 feet below base flood. That's with the firm maps and the new building code changes that may be coming out. We think that's going to be, could easily go to 7.9. That's from your building official. We're currently at 2.24 feet below base flood elevation where you're sitting now. Okay? So, FEMA said we're going to put our money where our mouth is. We're going to give you a specialized project because once again, it's not that 50% rule. And we're going to give you $3.27 million to build up because we don't want to see it happen again. Okay? And then also with a new building that comes with have to follow the building code, so it'll be a Cat 5 building. Right now you're sitting about a Cat 2 building. Okay? So after all this, looking at all these options, the commission voted to go ahead and accept this grant. Okay? Now this is, interject right now, we've been down this road before. Sewer plant, $5 million project. Okay? That wasn't a grant, that was a loan. And this works kind of like a construction loan. We spend the money, we send in the bills, and then they give us the money back. And that's what we did with the sewer plant. It worked great. We even did that sewer plant during Irma, remember? We had to slow down production for about a month, but after that, we rolled and we got it done. So we know how to do this. Next. Okay, if we had not decided to rebuild and we went to repair, what do we have? Well, FEMA doesn't like to support something that they told you to fix. So it'd be very hard in the future working with them if we damaged this building again, if we did not take their offer. And have you heard, they've been reading the paper about the community rating system, about the discounts we get because our communities work hard on floodplain management? That goes away. Your 15% flood insurance discount will go away. Because once again, we're not playing with FEMA. If you're not going to play, we're not going to give you a discount. City Hall insurances could easily increase 25% a year for flood alone. Right now, this building is valued at about $500,000 after the damage. We just got a new insurance policy, a little over $11,000 for flood insurance. If we repair it, we add value to it. Let's say it goes to easily $1.5 million. We repair it, what's our flood insurance going to be? Plus 25% a year until it goes up to the max. I have no idea what the max is, but it's going to keep increasing. So, way back, right after Irma hit, talked to several contractors in town, and the one I trusted the most said it costs you about $750,000 to fix this place, put it back the way it should be. And then we talked about, well, we need some more room. We need some more room for the police. We need some more. You saw police were a couple little teeny offices here. We need more for the building department. So we came up with about 2,000 square feet we thought we needed. That had about $600,000 for that. So if we did this once again, the state says, we're not going to help you. I mean, all the loans we're asking for are for mitigation, for building higher, for making it a Cat 5 building. So we have a safe building. A big, I'll talk to them about in a second. Okay, FEMA's, nope, nothing from FEMA, and so we're on our own. Can we do it? Yeah, we can do it. We can spend the money. Okay, okay, next. But we decided that we were going to do a new building because we got a lot of money to do it, and we thought it was the right thing to do. So, people ask me, well, why can't you just do like I do? I don't carry flood insurance. I don't carry wind insurance. I'm stilted. I got a brand new, so I don't. City can't do that. A city under law has to carry all insurances. Flood, wind, liability, harm. And we have to consider that we're a going concern. We just can't sell out and leave. If I don't keep calling, I get tired of this, I can sell and leave, right? City can't. We're a going concern. We have to think we're going to be here forever. And anything, of course, has to be covered by Florida Building Code. Okay, next. So, That being said, yes, we voted to build a new city hall, and we hired an architect. And this is the first drawings that they came up with. Actually, there are two, and we had about 40 people. Anybody here on Thursday night? Good meeting, great. People in the audience said, why don't you take a little bit of option 2 and put it together with option 1, and so this is what that combined is. Right here, let me walk over here behind everybody. This would be a new marble hall. Okay, all open windows. Here's the canal, same size as this, a little bit bigger, nicer kitchen. Then you have offices here. These are your police department, building department, admin department, and right now we have the post office separate over here. He thought that'd be easier for access and the big trucks that come in here, drop off 2 or 3 times a day. We could make a driveway coming around so they could get in easy access. Once again, this is just the first concept. We have a long way to go on this one. What Tony, our architect, said was, tell me you like 1, tell me you like 2, or tell me go back and start over again. So we said we kind of like this option. Next one. Okay, here's the next one, okay? And this is another, we're just moving around here, showing how this would set up. Make a real nice area here for Key Colony Beach Day, or whatever we want to do. It'd be really nice. Okay, next. And then that's the front here, Sadowski Causeway here. Here's West Ocean here. That's kind of what it looked like there. This tower here, this is your elevator and your stairs going into the stilted office buildings. Okay, and that's for your critical government facility to house all your public records, your police department, your building department, and refuge of last resort, etc. Okay. Okay, and next. Okay, funding. Once again, these are my numbers. Trying to see where we stand, see if I can make sense of this. There's a $3.27 million project. Now, it's less insurance, and then the feds pay 90% of it. It was at 75%, but the governor went to the president and said, hey, you really need to help me out here with Irma. Why don't we bump everything up to 90%? And the president agreed. So at 90%. And that's for about 9,000 square foot building. Those pictures I showed you are 12,000 square feet. We're still working on that, so we can get down a little bit, but even that, very doable. Then, of course, insurance paid $123,000. That's what your flood insurance paid. Isn't that nice of them? The state would pay kick in 5%, and then our share is 5%, $157,000. Last year, I talked about that grant that Holly got for us, the $150,000 for architectural and engineering. That goes in there. And once again, there's that 2,000-foot growth we talked about for all the different options we thought we needed. That cost us about $600,000. That's at $300 a square foot, maybe a little higher, a little lower. Cash reserves available. We discussed at this commission meeting. We think that we get those FEMA funds back, which we're hopefully going to get any day. I keep saying that month after month, but we're getting close. That we could easily throw $500,000 at this out of your cash reserves. We've been working very, very hard to save money over the last 2 years, extremely hard. And like Gerard said, with the building boom, doesn't hurt to get those building permits in. Now, this year, Holly's last year and Antera's last year, they said, let us help you out again. Let's put an appropriation, and we're going to put that appropriation in to elevate the building. So tell us how much it would cost you think, from ground level, just the elevation part of building a new building. We said about $500,000. And so now we have a House bill at HB 2729. That is the House budget, and we're in there for $500,000. Now, it's got to go to the Senate. Don't know where it's going to end up, but we had a lot of great support when we went up to Tallahassee last week. The Vice Mayor and I and Chris Muniz were hitting the halls lobbying, and we had a lot of great support for that $500,000. So got our fingers crossed. And then Department of Economic Opportunity came in. They're the people that kind of manage our charter. They help us out with everything. They help us out with a lot, and if we send in for new building permits, they approve those, things like that. They said, well, we got a HUD, that's Community Development Block Grant Disaster Relief. CDBG-DR. And we can think we can carve out some money out of that for you if you say you're going to harden your building, make it more resilient. I don't know if you heard that term resiliency a lot. It's a lot going around with floodplain changes and sea level rise and bigger, nastier hurricanes. We're trying to make Florida more resilient. There's a resiliency officer now hired by the governor, and she's just a super lady, Dr. Neshwat, and we talked with her. And she is all for this big time. She wants to see if she can get us that $500,000 to make us more resilient. And she's going to push with the Senate and with the House, and if it passes that, get the governor to sign it. So a lot of good support there. So basically, we're about, once again, both sides of the ledger are going to change. Those question marks, I don't have anything in there. So the cost we have there, about $4 million, and the funding we have to date, about $4 million. Just back in. So that's where we stand. Okay? Okay, next. Goes hand in hand with this. Ron went to a super meeting down in Key West for us, talking about sea level rise, and this came out of that conference. This is kind of the projections they're thinking. Look there, 2040. One model has it about 10 more inches, another model has it about 17. Is kind of what they're looking at. And we'll have to see how it goes on. But that has to drive a lot of our thinking. Plan for the worst, hope for the best, right? That's what we're doing. Okay, next. And so we're working with national, state, and regional groups. I went to a national conference, a Florida Mayor's Conference on Capitol Hill in October, where we talked about this. Talked with Senator Rubio and Senator Scott, and they're trying to get money to help us develop vulnerability studies. And starting off with the Army Corps of Engineers. Senator Rubio is trying really hard to get that in a bill, get the Army Corps to help us. Okay. We're going to craft these plans, and basically what we talked about, and I totally agree with, we need to calm everything down. So we talked to these scientists, and they said, well, how long do we think we have to really start doing something big? And they said about 10 to 15 years. So we're looking at a good 5 to 10 year range time to come up with a statewide plan to how we're going to handle sea level rise. And what that'll help us do is, let's say, calm everything down. So like, there are companies that want to pull out of 30-year mortgages out of it. They don't want to give any 30-year mortgages in the Keys or any places that could flood. And it'd be hard to get bonding. So if we have this plan, calm that all down, keep the 30-year mortgages, keep our property values up while we work on this. In the 1950s and 1970s, sea levels went down, by the way. So we don't know. We're working on it. Okay, next. Planning and zoning. We talked to, Gerard talked about planning and zoning. Joey Rasp's committees, we gave him a big, a big job. Looking at our land development regulations and see how we can handle sea level rise and the firm maps. Everybody's, right now I'll show you a slide on that next. Okay, so we're handling all that. Next. Okay, this is a good picture. 1960s to 2019, our building height across most of the city is about 30 feet. We cap it at 30 feet. But if you had sea level go up, do we have to raise our seawalls? What will that do to us? It make us a big bowl. Big issue. But now we're looking at maybe 40 feet for houses. So it allows everybody to build up to get above the base flood elevations, and so their flood insurance rates will go through the roof. Do we have to raise roads? A black line, roads, we have to raise roads. And what Gerard said, like, okay, we have that big house with all that dirt built up beside, little old house beside it. All the water flows from the one house to the other house. That's not right. We can't do that either. So we're looking at permeable space, soils, and flow of water, and it's going to be a mess. But we're on it. We're working on it, and hopefully have something here pretty soon for you. See if we can get our arms around this and how the city can build out. Okay, next. Okay, summary. Best place to live in the Keys, right? I hear that? Okay, good. We're still there. Good. No ROGO. Yay. Say, really, that could have cost us tens of millions of dollars. I'm not kidding. That would have killed us if we didn't get that taken care of. Budget is sound for any event. Stand by that. Federal and state support for a new city hall. Holly Anna Taylor plus our new state resiliency officer, Dr. Neshwat, are pushing hard to help us. And let's build a new city hall for the next 60 years. Staff, boards, committees, fantastic. I'm blessed to be your mayor. Thank you. Okay. That's it.